What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here. Welcome to our daily show where we discuss everything going on here in our country that you need to know about here on a daily basis. We got a lot to talk about here in this video. We're going to talk about multiple different checks going out to Americans right now, actually. And I'm going to show you this here directly on the screen so you can read it here, right here before your eyes. If you've been watching my channel here for a while, you know that I keep you up to date here with everything going on here in our country and our economy, everything that might pertain to your money and everything going on here on a daily basis. If you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel yet, make sure to click the subscribe button down below, then the bell icon that appears after you subscribe so you don't miss out on new videos. It's completely free to do so. And also, thanks so much for hitting the like button for us down below. If you've been watching, you know that there's about 33 or so states that have already passed state stimulus checks, property tax rebate checks, inflation relief checks on the state level. We've had multiple different federal programs as well. Right now, one of the big ones is the federal student loan forgiveness program of $10,000 to $20,000. Before this, we've had rent assistance of $40 billion, mortgage assistance of $9.9 billion, and utility assistance, actually, that's $13 billion starting right now, actually, in November and December. I just did a video on that, on how to apply for that. You could get hundreds or even thousands of dollars of your gas and electric bills paid for by your state or by the state programs here. I just did a video on that. I'll link you to that video here at the end of this video. You can watch that. And again, this is just money from the government. It doesn't cost anything to apply for these things. And you probably have heard about the student loan forgiveness because it's such big news. But a lot of these other things here, sometimes you don't hear about. Like if you ask the normal person on the street, did you know that there was rent assistance and mortgage assistance and utility assistance from the last stimulus package? They might say yeah because they might just say, "Oh yeah, 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 I heard of that." But chances are they didn't apply for it. But really, realistically, most people probably didn't even hear about it, or maybe heard something about it. But chances are they don't really know anything about it unless they watch our YouTube channel. Chances are they really don't know about this. That's just kind of the reality of things. In fact, Forbes did a recent article that said 90% of Americans that can qualify for these type of programs, which is really kind of the best way to share it or to talk about it. 90% of Americans don't go get the money. They don't apply for it. They don't go get it. Now, of course, the student loan forgiveness program is a really large one because it's in the news here. Um, but a lot of other programs don't make it in the news real big. You know, the regular news, they cover a lot of shootings and terrible stuff and the weather, the weather every 10 minutes, and it's just the same old type of stuff, and it's really not even that great. We cover a lot of stuff that pertains to you and millions of Americans here. I don't get to pick and choose the programs that they're passing here all the time, but if you just look at all the programs they passed, 3 stimulus checks for mass amounts of people, mortgage assistance, utility assistance, rent assistance. I have links for you guys down below in the description of this video. To open up the description, you have to click the little down arrow right by the title. It'll open it up. You'll see links down there. The rent assistance kind of running out. That's been going on for 2 years. You could still watch that video if you want to, but if you're a homeowner, how to apply for homeowners assistance and utility assistance. The utility assistance, I'll link you to the newest video here at the end of this video. $13 billion just approved here for the end of this year. Yeah, so really good. The student loan forgiveness is going to be like 250 to 400 billion dollars. And what the next program might be, they're already talking about medical debt forgiveness and other types of debt forgiveness in the future, like maybe credit card debt forgiveness, mortgage debt forgiveness, and other things, because people thought student loan debt forgiveness would never happen, and it is happening. Well, it's already passed via executive order. I'll actually show you that's one of the checks we're going to talk about that are going out right now. Um, it's being battled in courts of law. The Supreme Court has already ruled that it is lawful once, and it's going to the Supreme Court again in a separate lawsuit. But let me show you this. This is one of the checks that are going out. We have multiple different checks I'm going to show you here. So here's the first one. Yeah, you can see here student loan refund checks are in the mail for anyone who paid during the pandemic moratorium where student loan payments were paused. So this is going to go out here. Here's the details of this. Some checks are starting to be sent to certain student loan borrowers, even though, as a result of a court order, the Biden administration is temporarily blocked from processing debt discharges. Because this is a slightly different. This is kind of a refund on the money that you've paid. Bloomberg reported that checks are being sent to borrowers who paid down their student loans after the pandemic pause took effect in March. Despite the pandemic, an estimated 8.8 million people made at least one payment between March 2020 and December 2021. So checks are going to be going out actually to 8.8 million people, it looks like. That's quite a lot of people. As part of the student loan forgiveness plan, there is a clause specifying if you made voluntary payments during the payment pause from March 13th through 2020 through December 31st, 2022, which is actually through the end of next month, and your current loan balance is below the amount of debt relief you'll receive, which means that the student loan forgiveness of $10,000 to $20,000 would wipe you down to zero debt. After you successfully apply for and receive debt relief under the administration's debt relief plan, will automatically refund you the amount paid during the payment pause, only up to the remaining amount of your eligible debt relief per the Education Department of Education. While no specific additional action is needed in terms of claiming an eligible payment refund, borrowers do have to submit their student loan debt relief application to begin with. You can do that at the website studentaid.gov. Studentaid.gov is the website to submit your application. It's real simple to do. All you have to do basically to be eligible is have a federal student loan and make less than $125,000 per person. Married couples $250,000. So honestly, it's going to provide a basically stimulus program to over 40 million Americans. So it's really good relief for those people. And what might be coming next, we'll see. Because really, there's been a lot of programs here over this last 2 years of this pandemic. Against 3 stimulus checks, paycheck protection program, unemployment bonuses, extra SNAP benefits, child tax credits, all these different things. There's really been a lot, and there's probably going to be a lot more: rent assistance, mortgage assistance, utility assistance. Yeah, it's really, we're not even anywhere close to 33 states sending out state stimulus checks and inflation relief checks this year, and how many more might be next year as well. I'll keep you up to date on all this. In fact, we're going to be talking about here some right after this here in just a moment. However, the Department of Education adds if you made payments during the payment pause, but your current balance is higher than the amount of debt relief you'll receive, meaning that your $10,000 or $20,000 of debt relief won't knock you down to a zero balance, then you won't get a automatic refund after you apply for the debt. This is because the full amount of the debt relief will be applied to your loan balance. It won't knock you down to zero, so you won't get a refund, if that makes sense, because you still owe money, so there's no reason to refund you money because you still owe a balance, right? I mean, I hope that makes sense, right? Okay, next up, the next checks that are going out right now. You can see this headline here, right from Kiplinger. Pretty big place, a reputable place. New stimulus checks 2022. The state of Massachusetts tax refund money being sent out now. Massachusetts will return nearly $3 billion to eligible Massachusettsans. Yeah, Massachusettsans. Each state's got their own particular term for each people. It's pretty cool here. 500,000 tax refunds will be sent this week. That's a lot of checks to send out here in just 1 week. You can see here Massachusetts expands the eligibility actually for tax refund checks and direct deposits. Yeah, the Baker administration expanded eligibility criteria for Chapter 62F refund checks and direct deposits. State officials have expanded the eligibility parameters for these checks, and a highly anticipated distribution of checks and direct deposits now underway. The Baker administration previously said that Bay Staters, Bay Staters, there's the key word for those that state there, who filed their 2021 state stimulus check on or before October 17th and had a tax liability would qualify for the refund. Also, the states of Virginia 2022 stimulus tax rebates, many eligible Virginians have received up to $500 rebate checks as well. Yeah, that's because the Virginia General Assembly recently passed a law giving taxpayers like you a 2022 stimulus tax rebate of up to $250 for individual filers and $500 for joint filers. Most of those rebates were sent out by Halloween. So $250 for individual filers, $500 for married couples. And of course, the biggest one yet, at least population wise, we have had some other checks larger actually than this. California sending out checks to 23 million people. Those checks will continue all the way through the end of this year and some actually into 2023 actually. California stimulus checks, also known as the Golden State stimulus checks, more direct deposit payments hitting bank accounts now. A second round of direct deposit California stimulus payments of up to $1,050 underway. Basically, $350 per person for the amount of people in your family, up to 3 people. So if you have 2 people, $700, 3 people, $1,050. Those are still going out right now. Yeah, I've seen a lot of people say, yes, I got my check. I've seen a lot of people saying, I'm still waiting at mine. So I've seen some people say, yeah, I got my $700. I see some people say, yeah, I got my $1,050. Some people say, yeah, I'm still waiting on it. I haven't got it yet. So yeah, definitely helpful. If you're getting $1,050, you could definitely pay for some stuff with that. And if you're still waiting, New York has some stimulus type checks being sent out here as well. If you're a homeowner, a parent, or a worker in New York, a kind of stimulus check may arrive in your mailbox soon. New York's had a couple different kind of one-off ones like this. They also did a property tax rebate check a few months ago that was about $2 billion, billion with a B. So these billions are adding up pretty quickly. And New York has another one type of stimulus check here going. You can see the headline right here. So, again, they're type of stimulus checks for each state. But here's the details on this one. Yeah, this year the state of New York is sending stimulus check payments to eligible homeowners, families that claim the state's child tax credits. So this is on the state level. Remember, there's a lot of states that have child tax credits in addition to the federal child tax credits. I'll keep you up to date here on the federal child tax credit as well, because they're trying to increase that to the $3,600. If they're not able to do that, it will go back down to $2,000. I'll keep you up to date here on that as well. And also workers who claim the state's earned income credit, which is also known as the adult low income credit, the adult tax credit. You have to file a state tax return to do this, which is important. But same thing with the child tax credit, you have to file tax return to get that as well, which is why in many cases, even if you're not required to file a tax return, you may want to do so because it may be beneficial for you. You may actually get a lot of money, especially with the child tax credits. The government will literally just give you money. And if you don't file that tax return, you won't get the money. Millions of New Yorkers have already received one or more of these payments, but more checks are on the way. If you qualify, these advanced tax credits and tax rebate checks can be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. The exact amount you get, if anything, can be quite different from your neighbor, your friend, or your family members. That's because there are a lot of individual based factors that go into calculating each payment, such as your income, where you live, how many children you have, and the eligibility requirements vary from one program to the or one payment to the next. For example, if you live in New York City, you may have received an additional property tax rebate payment on top of what you get from the state. That's an extra $150 for Big Apple residents. Yeah, and this is really just a sample of what's going on here. Remember, we've had about 33 different states passing things, state stimulus checks like this year. Federal programs like the federal student loan program going on here this year. What might be next? Remember that Congress has a bill in Congress right now for $2,400 Social Security raises that would be in addition to the COLA cost of living raise of 8.7%. So it would be in addition if they can pass that. So we'll see here. We have the potential child tax credits of $3,000, $3,600. They did pass that last year. They haven't passed it yet this year, which could happen. There could be a compromise and boom, they could pass it literally any day. I'll keep you up to date on that. There's so many different things going on here. And really, we could see another stimulus check. We just had a recent survey that said 63% of Americans said that a federal stimulus check should be passed because of inflation. So this is what the American people want because of how bad inflation and how bad interest rates are getting. So they're sending a direct message to our congressmen and congresswomen saying, hey, we need help. And really, a lot of help is going on through these various programs. So it's not like this stuff isn't happening. Because if you actually look, if you actually know about these programs, which you do because you watch my channel, these things are happening. And the question is, what will be the next program? Because really, there's a lot. If you really just kind of see this stuff, that's why I show it to you right here on my screen so you can see it and believe it. And really, there's been so many people that are getting this stuff. What might be next? Hopefully, we see all 50 states getting programs like this, and we see federal programs as well that continue to cover tens of millions of people. I like the programs that cover a lot of people. I mean, the California state stimulus check, great, 23 million people. Federal student loan forgiveness, great, 40 million people. The SNAP program's great; they cover tens of millions of people. Hopefully, we get another federal student loan, or I'm sorry, a federal stimulus check. That's great because it covered tens of millions of people. So those programs are great. Let's get the programs, the child tax credits, great as well. 60 million people there. Those big programs that cover a lot of people are really good. Hopefully, we can get the Social Security raise in there in addition to the cost of living adjustment. And I will keep you up to date here with all this stuff. So make sure you're subscribed down below to our YouTube channel. Just click the subscribe button, then the bell icon. It's completely free to do so. You literally just click the subscribe button down below. And also don't forget to hit the like button for us as well. I will keep you up to date here with all this stuff that you need to know about here on a daily basis. You can click here to find out about the utility assistance that was just passed and more information on how to get that. And here is my newest video I just did about Social Security raises. So click on one of those videos next. Thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you in the next video.